Well, great morning, everyone. Oh my goodness, I got my got my plaids on today. It's actually kind of the colors in my tartan. Okay. Which I wanted to get the tartans, but it is so expensive to have your personal tartan made. But anyway, be that as it may, let's go forward today. I had somebody asking about, how do you throw the mind back in on itself? How do you, come to that quietude? There's a lot of things, practices and things that one does on the path that I teach. But one of the things, and I'll just put this one out there today, one of the things is, as the mind spin starts, and it wants to project into the future, or it wants to go and ruminate on the past, instead of let it going down that rabbit hole of the past, and it starts, generating this hamster wheel of thoughts, you say stop. And you bring yourself back to the moment, exactly what you are doing now, rather than letting it start this cycle, which continues to spin and spin and spin. So that's one of the techniques that one can do. Now, again, if somebody is having these events where they are, you have like PTSD, or you have something that just really kicks up this maelstrom of the poor me saga or any of that type of drama, again, you say stop. The only thing that's happening is whatever you are physically doing at the moment. Okay, bring yourself back to present. Okay, because the past, you're not going to change it, and the future is not here. So the only place you can truly live is now, the present. So why wasting the energy of, projecting or getting caught in this saga of a maelstrom of mind spin? Okay, keep bringing yourself back to the moment at hand and get into the flow of it. If you are fully engaged in the flow of the moment, if you're having your dinner or your coffee, just fully enjoy that. Feel get the aroma, the taste, or whatever you're working on. Get fully engaged in that, and that is like a meditation. It can become a flow. When you really get engaged in something, you lose track of time. So again, that's another way to enter into a flow, okay, meditation. One thing I stress on the path is, you have so many people, they just want to go and hang out at an ashram and think I have to sit there all day and do nothing and contemplate my navel, and I'm going to get so far. It's important, and this is why on this path, people continue to do their job, their work. What is the benefit of finding some sort of liberation if you need to hide away from society? Part of work is part of your practice. It also helps to keep you grounded, which is so important on the spiritual path. So for here, no, people don't go hide out in a cave. They don't, you do it where you're at. So when you get liberation, you're truly liberated. It's not, well, I have liberation as long as I'm on this mountain away from everybody. That's not real liberation, okay? So again, the path is doing it where you're at. Make your daily life part of your practices. Keep your focus. Do one thing at a time. If you're multitasking, stop the multitasking. Do one thing at a time with your full attention, full intention. You know, the Shakers that are so well known for their chairs and their furniture and things, that was part of their practice, was making the furniture and doing the absolute best job they could do. That was part of their practice. And the reason they were called Shakers and Quakers, because it would awaken the energy, okay? It would awaken the energy. So they were Shakers and Quakers, okay? So, yeah. So thank you for your question. Hopefully this has answered a bit of it. You know, again, a big part of the path is this neti, whatever is transient cannot be the eternal is, because the eternal is 0 point balance, okay? Anything that is transient, that comes and goes, is of the world of duality, okay? So neti, not this, not this, not this. You observe. So part of it is the meditation, being absolutely in the moment, where you develop witness state, which is a buffer zone, that there's a heart expansion, okay? Stay in the heart center, heart expansion happens, you have a bit of a buffer zone, and then you observe your mind, you observe how this works on emotions, you observe how the emotions affect the physical form, okay? And then once you can start to see these things play out, you can begin to question them more deeply. You begin and you watch. Where do thoughts come from and where do they go to? What gives them life? And you'll be amazed at what you find. They only have reality when what? You have your attention and focus on them and you are giving them energy. Okay? But what life and energy did they have 10 minutes prior to them coming in? Okay, so the path is about the quest to find out what you are at the essence of being, and more importantly, what you're not. Okay? But this you have to discover for yourself. Now, I see these satsang sellers out there. Somebody sent me a link to one of these guys, and he goes, oh, there's thoughts, but there's no thinker. You know, that's BS. As long as there's ego, there will be thoughts. It will be projected around the body form. And so, yes, there is a thinker there. Okay? When one gets to realization, you find out, and it's that very real feeling, I've never been born, I've never died, and the thoughts end. Now that's a whole different consciousness. But as long as one is within the realm of duality, then there is a persona, there is a thinker. It's all wrapped around ego. And ego is the storyline wrapped around a transient form, okay, that continually tries to keep itself safe by building a prison of one's own design. So again, the path to realization is, you're not going to get it within 2 days. You're not going to get it by listening to some guy expound on Advaita. And they use these tricks of the trade of one person talks so low that you really have to strain to hear. And if you're going to one of these events, you have a whole lot of people there, so the energy is heightened just by the fact of so many people there. Okay? I can tell you what they do. Oh my goodness. And then they try to talk in a very metered voice. And it's almost a hypnotic state of illusion, drawing people in. Well, that's nonsense. Okay? That's nonsense. So basically, they're using a hypnosis type of a technique, okay, to draw one in to an altered state while one is there, okay? Now, one of them, I'm not going to mention the name of this person, but, he's very, very popular. And during his satsang, he says, when the satsang's over, I stay away from everyone because otherwise I start wearing hats. In other words, realization was not stable. There was a glimpse of something, which as long as he's, in this mental space that he's gotten himself into and continues to talk about it in this hypnotic type of a voice. And there's a lot of heightened energy because there are a lot of people there. Then he can continue to hold that space with effort. So that's not truly being fully liberated. I'll see if I can find my other thing on Turiya and Turiyatita. In Turiyatita, the mind has stilled. So one is in a constant state, what most people would term meditation. But it's your natural state at this point in time. There are no more rising thoughts of hamster wheel stuff. It's just quiet, okay? And that's something perceptible that takes place. And one doesn't need to manufacture these techniques of, hypnotic voice and, all of the other things that I know that I don't know if they're aware of what they are doing, okay? They may actually think they're there. Now, I think a number of these satsang sellers, they've had this heart expansion in witness state, okay, which feels very expanded, but it's nowhere near realization, okay? But yeah, talking about Advaita and saying there's nothing to get, there's nowhere to go, you're already that, there's thoughts but no thinker, there's, all of that is not benefiting people to actually move forward to quietude, to stillness, to that awareness, to that dismantling of the ego ideation, because ego is an ideation wrapped around the physicality of form in a storyline. Ego is a storyline, okay? And everyone has the same amount of divine is, whether one is realized or not. Same amount of divine is. The only difference in the realized being is they are aware and awakened to it, okay? And this ideation of storyline has dismantled. It's no longer in place. So, yeah. But again, a big part of the journey is your daily life. You use it as part of your practice. It aids one to get grounded. And it sets up all these different scenarios for one to learn from, to experience, and to navigate through. So I hope this has answered your question to some degree. Thank you for asking it, and I'll see you online.